Hi, I'm Sarah, late diagnosed ADHD and self diagnosed autistic. I am a mom of three girls ranging from 2 years old to 18. I develop video content to help neurodivergent moms and parents to navigate the daily challenges that we struggle with. Today, I'm going to go over 25 accommodations that I do to help myself, and it also helps my family enjoy our lives more. This is inspired by Phoebe's video over at Honey Bunch of Onion Tops. These tips range from food I eat to conserving energy, mental shifts, and how I spend time with others. My hope is that they will give you, as a neurodivergent person or even a neurotypical person, ideas and possibilities that you may like to use for your own life. I would also love to hear some of the accommodations that you make for yourself in the comments below. All right, let's get into it. Just before I begin, I just want to say that, nobody really wins when it comes to a parent who's not prioritizing themselves. And a lot of times we get stuck in this loop of thinking that we just need to keep going and keep pushing through, and we need to be selfless and just help our kids and help our family. And in reality, we need to help ourselves first, really and foremost, because that will then trickle down into everybody else in our family's lives. The first accommodation that I make for myself is sleeping with a soft blanket. This might seem a little silly, but I always used to sleep with like sheets and my comforter, and I started sleeping in my bed and pulling my blanket up over my other blanket so that I could just feel it up against my skin. And also sleeping with a pillow between my legs has helped a lot of the pain in my hips and my legs and knees as well. The second one is changing my relationship with clothing. I always struggled with finding out what to wear, and probably you have had the same issues. But once I realized why I was having those issues, I started picking out outfits before I went anywhere. I just had outfits that I could wear regularly that I found to be comfortable, not itchy, scratchy, or too tight or too loose, but they were outfits that I actually enjoyed, that I would wear going shopping. And so I have certain outfits always and forever that I would wear just going out for normal everyday things. I also have a lot of open bins in my room that I have a lot of the clothes that I wear regularly in, and another open shelf where I put all of my, what I call my loungewear, the stuff that I love to wear around the house, of all sorts of warmths and thicknesses and lengths and things, so that I can change my clothes when I get home from anywhere that I've gone, or if I get sweaty, I find that I change my clothes all the time. The third one is to prioritize taking a rest break. A lot of times this is right in the middle of the day when my toddler is napping, but I also try to pay attention to how I'm feeling. And if I start to feel really overwhelmed, or I'm just like doing too many things and I haven't really sat down because I felt like for some reason I couldn't sit down, I try to prioritize even just getting away to a spot by myself for 5 or 10 minutes, maybe putting on my headphones and listening to music, so that I can kind of reset and not have a meltdown. Number 4 are taking some vitamins and supplements regularly. I leave them out on my counter in my kitchen. And a few of the ones that I take, they're just all natural things like magnesium, especially for us ladies. We lose a lot of magnesium. I take some anti-inflammatories like turmeric and ginger, because as I get older and I'm going through perimenopause, I find that I have a lot more pain, and I just assume it's because of inflammation. I also take fish oil, and I take collagen regularly. And before I go to bed, I can either take melatonin, which I find really helps me sleep if I'm not super sleepy, tired, can't fall asleep. And I also have another sleepy vitamin that's like a combination of GABA, theanine, magnesium, and that's another option for me to take before I go to bed. And I know that they're all good for me. Number 5 is just trying to sleep in a little bit later / getting more sleep in general. I fought this for a long time, and I find the older I get, the more I need to have like 8 or 9 solid hours of sleep every night. And it's very frustrating because I want to stay up later, or, I do get woken up early because of the kids or the dogs or my husband. And I found that if I try to go to bed on time, then at least if these things happen, that I have kind of a reserve. And I am also now able to wake up later in the mornings than I was before, which is a huge blessing. I'll talk more about that in a minute. Number 6 is starting the day by sitting down with my breakfast. I'm not an interior decorator, and my house really used to look kind of like a bunch of dogs live there, but I enjoy nice, soft, comfy places. And I recently redid my dining room, and it's a lot more inviting now, a lot softer, and it's a place that I really enjoy going to. So I find that when we start the day out and it's usually just me and my toddler, we are able to kind of pause and figure out what we're going to do for the day instead of just staring at my to-do list and be like, okay, I gotta just keep moving and keep running along and get everything done. Number 7 is a mental shift that I've made, which is changing my relationship with food. In the past, I've had a lot of gut issues over the last couple years and a lot of stomach aches, GI tract issues, and I just tried so many different diets to help myself. And finally, I had a change about like how I thought about food instead of thinking, is this going to be bad for me? Like, is this going to make my stomach hurt again? I realized that worrying about it really made a big difference on whether or not my gut was going to heal and feel better. And so I just instead tried to pay attention to the stuff that I ate and started trying to see my food as medicine instead of whether it was good or bad. Number 8 is just communicating more with my partner, with my husband. I only recently started doing, but just telling him what I needed, if I needed a break, or if I wanted him to watch our toddler for a few minutes because she's just like nonstop. And it's really one of the things that sometimes sends me into a meltdown is because it's just like all day long and I'm tired. And sometimes I don't do it very well. Sometimes it just comes out in a big rush. And it sounds kind of abrasive how I'm feeling, but I'm getting better at it. And I know that he appreciates me communicating with him instead of walking around angry and, he doesn't know how to help. And a lot of these things are really new to us because only a year ago I found out I had ADHD. It was something of a stereotype in our home. We didn't really want to take medication. And so it required a lot of mental shifts to get both of us to a place where we now feel like medication is really helping me. It's helping our daughter. Talking through a lot of those things with him as I went throughout this journey was difficult, but really necessary so that we could be on the same page and I could hear his perspective along with my own. Number 9 was being able to homeschool my neurodivergent teen. We used to get up and out the door at like 6 a.m. and fight rush hour traffic for an hour, driving her to school. It caused me a lot of stress. It caused her a lot of stress because school was just really, really difficult for her. And when your kids are stressed and they're not feeling well, you feel it too. And it can be very painful. It's very shadowing over you. And this year I was able to homeschool her, and it's really enabled us to have so much less stress, enabled us to be able to get up later and really start our morning a lot slower, which I didn't realize until we started doing it, how big of a help it would be for us. Number 10 is just slowing down. Some of this was for a period of time when I was burnt out. Some of it is just general everyday, trying to watch my energy levels, trying to make sure that I'm not overdoing it. And it's still a big struggle and I still fail a lot, but I am getting better. So some of the things that we do in this regard is trying to go places if we have to go places in the mornings and avoid going places in the afternoons and especially in the evenings, and trying to just check in with myself on days when I'm really exhausted and almost rewriting my to-do list and really figuring out, what do I actually really need to do today? Do I need to do any of this stuff, or can I just say, no, you know what, I feel so tired, I just want to rest today. Number 11 is unmasking around others. This is something I've only started doing in the last month or so, and it's probably the most difficult. When I first started, it's very encouraging to see how people respond to it. And I would really encourage you to do the same thing. But I'll, tell people, hey, I just don't have the energy for this today. Or this is really loud in here, like I need to go outside. Or this is really getting bright, could we turn the lights down? Just explaining how I'm feeling. Number 12 is starting this YouTube channel. I realized that it was the special interest that I was looking for that would help me get out of my brain, help me to do something that I really enjoyed, which is helping others and sharing information and teaching other people. But I realized that having that as a special interest has a lot of mental health benefits. Number 13 is discussing what I learn about AuDHD with my teen daughters. I research all the time. I love learning more about autism and ADHD. Anytime I watch a new video or listen to a podcast that I think would be beneficial, I just tell my daughters what I learned, whether or not they want to hear it or not. Number 14 is just understanding that I can have two very conflicting feelings at the same time. The more that I learn about AuDHD, the more I've understood that our brains work so differently, and that it's okay when I feel like I want to listen to music, but at the same time I'm like, no, I don't want to listen to music, or I really want to be alone right now. And then as soon as I'm alone, I'm like, no, I don't want to be alone right now. Number 15 is feelings are more than emotions. This is a mental shift that I've recently made, that feelings are a lot more complex. There's a lot of layers in feelings. There's experiences, there's smells, there's memories, and yes, there's emotions, but feelings carry so much more. Number 16 is reducing the chemical load on my body and also subsequently my family's. This was a shift that I made a while back, and it took time. I did one or two things at a time, but I switched out my detergent. I switched out the shampoo and the body wash and the conditioner that I've been using, lotions and toothpaste, for things that are all natural, that don't have any chemicals in them. I'm not sure if this is really an accommodation for AuDHD, but I feel like the less chemicals that we're putting into our body, the better our brains can work. Number 17 is getting noise canceling headphones. And this one might sound stupid, but as a mom, a lot of times I'm just like kind of in my brain at the bottom of the totem pole. I'm like, I don't need any of this stuff. Like, I don't really need these noise canceling headphones. They're expensive. And so for a long time, I didn't get them. I was like, I have earbuds, which are not the same thing at all. But about a week ago, when I was going through a very stressful time, I just decided to order a pair. And I was so happy that I did, because it made such a difference when I kind of needed a break, couldn't really go somewhere that was quiet, obviously. Number 18 was embracing more stimming. And honestly, that word, I don't know why, but it makes me kind of cringe. But anyway, as a kid, I used to run everywhere. I used to tiptoe everywhere, and I used to sing everywhere. I remember I would walk down the halls at school and I was singing. I just assumed it was so loud because everybody was in the halls that they couldn't hear me, but they probably could. I thought, I'm not autistic. I never stimmed when I was a kid. And then I realize now I like to play with fidget toys. I like to keep my hands busy. I have to be doing something. And as I recognize it and I see it in myself, like picking my hands and stuff, I'm like, just Sarah, go get a fidget toy. I do more things by myself, like different dancing and stuff, where I use my whole arms and everything like that. Number 19 is finding more YouTube channels and podcasts that I enjoy, because I found that I like to have one earbud in, listening to that, especially in the mornings when I'm playing with my toddler and we're outside and we're not necessarily like doing something one-on-one, but I'm pushing in a swing or we're playing on the trampoline. I like having that sound in the background so that my brain doesn't get bored, if that makes sense. But number 20 is just taking the time to process feelings and emotions, especially over given events. I might process these things laying in bed at night or by journaling on my computer. I might talk to one of my family members. I find that I usually get stuck in this feeling of either being overwhelmed or this bad feeling, and I'm not sure why, or I'm uneasy, and I just can't really tell in the moment why I feel that way. So I've been trying to take more time to think through what it is that's bothering me. Number 21 is just finding more sensory things to enjoy. A lot of times we talk about how we are avoiding, sensory overload, but I've been trying to find things that I really enjoy sensory wise. Like I mentioned, that, a soft blanket. I have this face oil that I put on that feels and smells so good that it just is such a joy to put on my face. Dimming the lights, having a cup of hot tea, snuggling up, having fidget toys, or, earrings that I really enjoy. Number 22 is going to the same grocery stores or Walmarts. Even better yet, just ordering food to get delivered. I find if I go to the exact same grocery store and I know exactly where everything is, it really reduces the overwhelm and the loss of energy there when your eyeballs are just having to take every single thing in so strongly, and it just reduces a lot of that because I know where everything is. Number 3 is trying some new foods as medicine. I know I mentioned changing my relationship with food, but thinking about what food I could eat that would almost be like medicine. I'm perimenopausal right now, and a lot of things are fluctuating and changing my body, and I started trying things like raw milk for the enzymes and vitamins that your body can really take in and assimilate a lot faster. Same thing with the raw honey and raw cheese. I even started milling my own flour so that I could make homemade bread. I don't make all my bread and pasta this way, but I found that my body enjoys it a lot better and is a lot more able to process it. Number 24 is prioritizing outdoor time. I always loved being outdoors, but I realized how necessary it is for my mental health. I spend about 1 to 3 hours outside in the morning and the afternoon, just walking around in my woods, looking at the trees, looking at the clouds, and just enjoying how beautiful they are. The last accommodation I have is focusing on movement rather than exercise. And I've always been big into exercise. I love strength training, and I'd have, routines that I do every day. Was pretty regular about it, but I started having a lot of issues with my joints and things as I got older. Now I'm able to exercise again, and I do still do some strength training, but I'm not like crazy about it. I focus on going outside with my toddler and jumping on the trampoline or just going for a walk with my dogs. Sometimes I dance around the house, but it's always based on the amount of energy and drive that I have for that day, not the fact that, I have to get this workout video accomplished today. Please like this video if you got something out of it today. It really goes a long way in me making this content. And subscribe if you want some more information, content geared towards parenting, towards being a mom, towards helping your kids, all towards neurodivergent information. Thanks for watching.